reside. I've noticed that pharmacies over the last 10 years started doing more and more for people coming in. The flu shots, the COVID shots, pneumonia, all sorts of treatable stuff, and require mostly injection. Since the bricks and mortar are already across the state, how about having screenings done for specific stuff? If you had a cadre of dentists that would show up at a pharmacy, one dentist to a pharmacy, if you have any dental issues, come and see what you have wrong and where we can send you if you had the Medicaid expansion. Do you think having screenings done at pharmacies might be a part of the Medicaid expansion that would be effective and make a big difference in the lives of people who live out in the rural areas?
Yes, sir. We're already working on another pharmacy bill. The pharmacy bill we passed last year did a lot of things. It allowed women to get hormonal contraceptives without ever going to the doctor, smoking cessation programs, treatment for if you've been exposed to AIDS. You can walk into a pharmacy and get that. If you get that within 72 hours, you will not get AIDS. We have a whole laundry list of things that we can do, and there are other things that we can do. One of the things is test and treat. Right now, especially with flu going on, I want people to be able to walk in the pharmacy, get a test to see if they have flu, and then let the pharmacist right then give them a prescription. Why does it make any sense to send them to a doctor unless they're, if they have other health issues, I think that makes sense. And in my bill that we worked on, we put in that everyone that you see and give a treatment to, you need to make a recommendation to them to a primary care physician. I think everyone needs a primary care physician. And I say that, my doctor friend here shaking his head because he agrees that I want everybody to have a primary care physician. I don't want pharmacists to become, your primary care, although a lot of them are in this state. Most people, if you got something wrong, the first person you go talk to is your pharmacist, especially if you have a local pharmacist that you know. I tell folks all the time, and I ran into this guy about 2 weeks ago. His name's Avery Moore. He had Moore Discount Drugs in Andrew, North Carolina. We got to be friends back in the 80s. And he had a local drugstore. He is now part of the Walgreens chain because he ended up selling out. But he gave me some good advice. When he said, Jim, I'll teach you something about pharmacy. He said, and life. He said, if you have a reaction to something, that's bad. If you respond to the treatment, that's good. He said, that's a good point in life. Never react, always respond. And so that's my advice. We don't need to react to issues and people and things. We need to respond and try to do it very positively. So that's part of the goal, though, is to let more things be done. But what I've tried to do is I bring in the doctors, I bring in the pharmacists, I bring in all when we worked on the pharmacy bill, we had 35 people in the room because I wanted everybody to have a say. We took out some things that I was going to put in the bill because it made sense what they were saying. Some of the doctors said, we really don't want you to go there. So we'll start the next round of that probably in late January, early February.
You need to let the public know. I know advertising is expensive and you may consider it wasteful, radio and television. If people don't know what's going on in their pharmacy, the services they can get, it's sort of falls in a hole somewhere.
We use the Secretary's budget.
You already spent it all. I just want to add kind of in this theme, trying to increase access, there's a lot of different strategies, whether it's leveraging pharmacies, which I love. Also, we saw the kind of compounding impact of telehealth in the midst of COVID, especially for behavioral health. My mother always loves me to share this story, which is she started therapy for the first time in her life because she finally felt comfortable doing it over the phone on FaceTime, from her car where my dad couldn't hear me. And nevertheless, but it's not, none of these things are the cure, right? And I think that, to Senator Bergen's point, like that importance of referring back to that primary care doc and having that connection. We don't want to create a secondary system of care where the have-nots are kind of having to navigate, a pharmacy visit and a mobile bus at the Dollar General store and da-da-da-da-da. And look, all of those things I think are important complements and conveniences and good ways to extend access, but we have to also make sure that we are investing in our workforce pipelines to have more primary care doctors and frankly to compensate primary care doctors more and to put more value-based, we know that primary care docs can play such a key role in long-term prevention and disease, but yet when people have those savings over their lifespan, those dollars don't really go to primary care docs, right? So by putting more value-based compensation in our payment models and other things are ways for us to try to make sure we're not only investing in expanding access via these other strategies, but look, we've got to leapfrog. We've got to take on technology. We've got to make things more mobile. The at-home aspect is another thing that came out of COVID, which is really powerful, where people can be at home and get much more care than they've ever gotten before. But we also have to build out the core foundation of what has been, as the economic pressures and things have changed over time, and we haven't had expansion in North Carolina. We've had our core healthcare workforce dwindle in a lot of ways.
I just want to thank everyone for being here and thank our panelists for their comments. Wonderful to have this discussion with you all. I will think, it's what I'm asking for Medicaid expansion in North Carolina for Christmas, and it's my New Year's resolution, and maybe I will give up the coverage gap for Lent, right? So hopefully by then, by Easter, we will have Medicaid expansion here in North Carolina. So thank you all for being here with us, and we loved having this conversation.
Group picture.
Thank you.
I need a copy of that. Those statistics he said about the counties having like 100 counties and then so many not having, I was like, I wish I had written it down, but I'm like, you got it. You got it. What did y'all think? What did you think?
Try to turn this thing off.